So we've heard a lot about the Bemer now, what it does, how it does it, and so on. And you have a pretty good idea now. I just, with this short video, just want to sort of reiterate. The Bemer is good for prevention. By doing what? Well, you guessed it, it improves the blood circulation, both at the micro level and at the macro level. It strengthens the immune system. And thirdly, it improves the cellular metabolism, the way the cells work. And if you have happy cells, all 100 million of them, you will be a healthier person. But what the effect is on the body is because your nerve cells, your brain, your muscle, and all the other types of cells all benefit from this, and it supports the body's self-regulation. And the body's self-regulation is necessary to work properly so that any viruses or wounds or whatever aberrations a healthy body can experience, that the body can regulate that away, if I can put it like that. So it's good for prevention. It's also good for aging. And let me say at the start, this is not a youth fountain device. Of course we are getting older. We are aging. But if you have an improved blood circulation, it makes sense to even a layperson like you and me that you can improve the mental acuity, mental performance, the concentration ability. There is more stamina. We are in a better physical condition with an improved blood circulation. We have an increased tolerance to stress of all types. If it be psychological stress or environmental or even a stress at work, or even when we are retired, we can still experience stress. But it improves the tolerance to that. And what is very important for people over 65, 70 is a strong immune system. Why is that important? Because if you have poor blood circulation and a poor immune system, then many viruses and illnesses can affect you very quickly. Because the big five in biology are viruses and not the big five in the Kruger National Park. If we contract an ailment or an illness, with the Bemer we find there is a much faster healing process. I had surgery on my knee and I recovered remarkably quickly because I used the Bemer every single day, and I especially treated that knee, that the surgeon who performed the operation was extremely pleased with my unusually fast recovery. And of course it showed that he had great skill as a surgeon, but he himself said he'd never seen a recovery like that before. And we've seen it now hundreds, if not thousands of times on different surgical interventions where the healing process is so much faster. There's improved efficacy of medication because medication has to do its job at a particular place in the body, but to get it there with poor blood circulation is an enormous task. So the Bemer makes it a bit easier. And the result of this, after the ailment is gone and the illness, we have increased vitality, we have an improved quality of life. Very often with rehabilitation and physiotherapy, we can see that there's improved bone fracture healing. There's a whole long story behind that aspect alone why that works. And also accelerated wound healing. And we see it over and over and over again. Especially wound healing on diabetic patients is very, very critical to get that right. And the Bemer does nothing but improve the blood circulation, and the body does the rest. And we have enormous prevention of amputation even with diabetic wound healing. Higher tolerance to loading, physical loading now, and physical stress, and reduced recovery periods So if a physio exercise for a particular thing, say your knee after an operation, it takes so long, with the Bemer treatment, it'll be much, much shorter. In sport, it is used extensively. From swimming to hockey, to rugby, to soccer, to skiing, you name it. The Bemer is useful. Why? Because in top sport, there's always the chance of exhaustion and injury. And what we find is with the Bemer, there's a much faster regeneration. And for professional athletes, of course, not being able to compete means loss of money. For amateurs like you and me, be it cycling or swimming or playing rugby or whatever, a faster regeneration is also important because we want to play again. For the professionals, you and the amateurs, we can increase the training regimen because the body is more able to cope with that extra physical stress. And not that you win world records with the Bemer, but there is an improved performance. It makes sense that the more oxygen you get into the cells, the better the muscles, for example, will perform. Okay, so is it a doping device? No, it is not a doping device, because in a very natural way, it improves the oxygenation of the tissue and the various cells. And I think I'll leave it there for today, but make sure you watch the last video in this series. Thank you.